Hey y'all, it's your girl Damo, and I'm gonna show y'all how I did this twist headband wig. So we're gonna start with the foundation, which is just placing a mesh dome cap on a mannequin of your choice. For this video, I used the size 22. So you wanna just place the cap just like you would if you were making a closure wig. Make sure all sides are even and then pin them down with some T-pins. You can pin down all sides, but I personally just like to put one pin in the back just to start the foundation. Once the cap is in the position you want to place your silk Velcro headband onto the mannequin right under the dome cap. Make sure all sides of the headband are equal and then place a T-pin right in the middle of the headband and the mesh dome cap, but make sure you're placing it below and not onto the cap. Then pin down the other two sides halfway. Next, you want to sew starting from the middle. I recommend having 2 needles and thread just so you won't have to start over with threading the needle. And as you can see, I did not pin down that whole headband. This is going to help when putting it on to make sure that it is not too tight. Then you want to mark where you will put your twist. I recommend using like a platinum or silver Sharpie marker if you're using a black dome cap, just so you can see the marks better. And notice how I'm spacing these marks out because you don't want your wig to be too heavy. Of course, we're going to fill in as needed, but you just don't want to start off with way too many twists. Next, you're going to take your crochet needle and you're going to stick it through the cap. I slowed this part down because this is really important. You stick it through the cap only, not the elastic band part. So I zoomed it in so you can see it's not going through that band, just the mesh part. Then you put it all the way through, making sure that that flap is sticking outside of the cap. Next, you're gonna grab a small piece of hair. I personally like to use the Expressions pre-stretched hair because it just makes everything better. You don't have to worry about stretching the hair out or anything like that. Then you loop it around that needle. Make sure you close the flap to make sure the hair doesn't come out. Then you just pull it through the cap. You want to make a little loop just like that. Then you just pull one side of the hair, holding the other side still to make sure that it doesn't go through the cap, so you'll have 2 strands just like that. Now you could start twisting at this point, but I like to add a couple of more pieces of hair just so I won't have to keep adding every single time I do a twist. Now you just want to start twisting just one piece after the other. If you ever had a little kid, niece, nephew, you probably did some 2-strand twists on their head at one point in time. I do them on my son all the time, so this part was pretty simple. Make sure that you are twisting tighter than how tight you actually want your twist, because once you let it go, it's going to automatically loosen up on its own if you know how twists work. Make sure you're keeping it as neat as possible. And I don't think I got this part on camera, but once you're done twisting and you let the twist kind of loosen up on its own, you do want to seal the end of the twist with either a cigarette lighter or nail glue. I started off using nail glue for these twists, but then towards the top I started using a lighter because I ran out. This was my wig, y'all, so it's going to be a lot of imperfections in this one because I don't tend to really start over when I'm doing a wig for myself, only when I'm doing them for clients. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is my very first time doing this, so this video is very beginner friendly. You don't have to be an expert to do this at all. So I just continue adding twists, and as I said, once you let it go, it loosens up and it kind of forms its own shape. As you can see, mine are a little bent right here because I was just getting the hang of doing them. They do get better towards the top, trust me. So please don't freak out if your twists are not perfect when you first start doing them. This is my first time making a wig, my first time doing two-strand twists with extensions. I usually only do them on my son. I kept adding twists. I know this video is very sped up for the sake of YouTube and just recording, but I did do this wig over the span of about 2.5 days, so please don't think I did this overnight. And as you can see, I placed the twist where I put the dots. I filled it in as it was needed later, so it was not very heavy at all. So after I finished, it was nice and full. I went and boiled some very hot water. Then I just dip the ends into the water. Please make sure that you're being very careful on this part because I wasn't. You don't want to dip the whole entire twist at the bottom into the water, just the part that's left hanging. And since my camera angle was all messed up, I couldn't really show y'all that part. That's why I'm talking through it. You want to only dip the part that's hanging, so the part that you did not twist. Once you're done dipping, you just want to pat it dry with a dry towel. Make sure you're just pulling it down so you're not scrunching up the hair. You want to pull it straight down just like that. When I was done dipping, I just let it air dry overnight before trying it on. This is how it looks on a mannequin, and this is how it looks on me. Like, share, and subscribe if this video helped you out.